Well, everybody, it's Romania Black, and why are you surprised that I'm not going ahead and watching episode 4 of Word of Honor? But look, it's February, it's the month of love, and sparks are already flying between Wen KeXing and Xiao Jishu, and I'm so excited about that. But here's the thing. I didn't notice it during the reaction. I didn't notice it during the discussion. But as I was reading some of the last comments from Scumfill and Self-Saving System, which is the last series that I watched before this one, someone had shared an animatic of it in the Discord. And in that animatic, there was something mentioned about a gesture that was done like between characters where they cross arms and have their cups in a certain way. And people are like, oh yeah, that's a ritual you do during marriage. And then suddenly, like a wave crashing against a cliff, it suddenly hit me. I was like, was Wen KeXing trying to just straight up marry Zhao right in front of our salads? Because, yeah, last episode, the whole thing where Wen, like, crossed arms with Zhao and they had that moment, I'm like, were they getting past the censors and doing a gesture like they were getting married? I'm sorry, what? I could not believe it. I was floored. So I'm sure y'all that watched episode 3 were like, girl, how did you miss that? But I did. So I'm fully anticipating all those comments when we get to it. But having said that, episode 1 is out on Patreon as I'm recording this. And I've got a couple comments I want to talk about from there. And then I'm going to explain to you Whiteboard Coon and why they're already here. Should we be surprised they're already here? Probably not. But anyway, so X Zhang on 8CD said, it's so interesting and fun for me as someone who was born and raised in China to see all the cultural shock that I thought was easy to understand. And I can't wait for you to get your mind even more blown. Yeah, right. I was really looking forward to hearing from a perspective of an audience that was raised in China, that to them, they're like, oh, this is just like our Saturday afternoon shows. Like, what? The tropes, everything, we're used to this. I was wanting to hear from people that had been raised on this type of series, because I'm sure for you all, you're like, this is just every day. And I'm just blown away by a lot of the cultural tropes and things like that. And I'm really excited to get more into them. So thank you so much. And then Icy said they have a dirty mind, and my mind's in the gutter now too, because they said in episode 1, when I saw the walnuts, I thought, he's fondling the nuts. Yeah, so there you go. Gutter mind time. Yeah, was that getting past the censors as well? There's gonna be a lot of censor gauging as we go through this, but that was hilarious. I've laughed so hard this week just thinking about all the things that I missed, looking at everybody's comments. It's been a great week. So, word of honor, I've drank the Kool-Aid. I've jumped into the cult. I'm here with you all now. I'm super excited to see where this goes, but more importantly, I'm really excited to see this episode. So I went ahead and redid Whiteboard Coon to kind of talk about what we know so far and kind of the key elements that I feel are worth reiterating before we dive into this episode. So we know 20 years ago, Rongzhan was defeated or killed, as it's been said, by the Five Lakes Alliance. We know that. We know that the Five Lakes Alliance each took a piece of the glazed armor, supposedly. The glazed armor being what can open the armory that will make you invincible, supposedly, allegedly. But we do know that one of the glazed armor piece was taken by the Hanging Ghost in episode 1, and then some mysterious person clad in red that couldn't possibly be the chief took it back. So, or we think might be the chief, but we don't know for sure. And took it back. So they have it now too. And then the Ghost Valley have 10 ghosts. There's a chief. Their main aspect is they just want to find the glazed armor. They don't want it to get in the hands of other people. They want to get it back. They want to get the glazed armor back. Presumably though, I guess by them getting it back from the Lakes Alliance, that would signify they'll have to fight them. But again, as this series is showing us from last week's episode, not everything is as it seems, and there are a lot of conflicting stories going around, and people are saying certain things that other people are denying, and there's some misinformation spread. There's a lot of stuff going around, so I'm really excited to see where that goes to. But anyway, so we also know that Gao Chong is the leader of the Five Lakes Alliance. He's the one in charge. And then we know there's all these other like different sects and gangs involved with the Five Lakes, such as Hai Sha, the water transport, and other people that are planning on meeting. And they've all got this big conference coming up on July 15th. This big conference that's coming up. Everybody's going to meet for it, right? Meanwhile, we have this old couple, Tao Hong and Lu Liu. They don't like the Five Lakes Alliance. They're pretty bitter about it. They kind of want revenge on them. And so they're kind of setting up as being pals with Huang He and the Beggars gang. And they're setting up this idea that they want to get the Five Lakes Alliance into a battle with the Ghost Valley. And they want the Ghost Valley to kick their asses, is pretty much what they want to happen. And so they have talked Shin, who is of the Five Lakes Alliance, and is really sad because Changling's dad and him were besties, sworn brothers, and he's all pissed off. And they've told him that he needs to go after the Ghost Valley and go tell the others to go after the Ghost Valley, and it's all their fault, and start this big old battle. Meanwhile, there's this guy named Ao Lizzie, who supposedly has maybe a piece of the glazed armor that he could have gotten from the descendants of the one defeated sect that are traveling with him now. And they're from the Mount Tai sect, which is not part of the Five Lakes Alliance. And they are on their way to Mount Wudang, I guess. And they think that Shin is coming after them. But the thing is, we don't have any evidence that Shin is coming after them. But they're telling the descendants that's the case, so that they'll let the descendants let them keep the glazed armor piece and travel with them. Allegedly. So already we know that one piece of the glazed armor is with the Ghost Valley in some respect, probably. We know another piece of the glazed armor is with the Mount Tai sect that is not part of the Five Lakes, and the other three pieces are possibly still with the Five Lakes Alliance. Meanwhile, as all of this is going on, we have Prince Jin, who originally had Zhao hired as the leader of an assassin guild that was trying to help him take over the land. That's still a thing going on in the background. Meanwhile, we have Zhao, our main protagonist, who has felt guilty for causing the death of his 81 brothers, including his best friend, and including his best friend's lover, and including his best friend's lover's dad. So episode 1 was a thing. And so he feels bad about it, feels guilty, and has decided that he's going to end his life and suffer for 3 years, losing his senses slowly one by one from these 7 nails. And as he's suffering as a beggar, he somehow gets wrapped up in all of this and ends up leaving the Window of Heaven Assassins Guild, gets hooked up with Wen KeXing, but not for real yet, and Wen KeXing's little apprentice, Gu Zhang, and we don't know what Wen KeXing or Gu Zhang's agendas are. They were just there. They just happened to be walking by when they noticed the beggar, but he's kind of hooked up with them. And they somehow, Wen KeXing knows that Zhao is related to the Four Seasons Guild, which is now extinct, except for Zhao. He knows he's related to them, and he knows that something's up about him. He's some kind of variable in all of this. And Zhao had promised a dying man that he would take Qingling, who is one of these Five Lake Alliance's only surviving kid, to this conference or wherever to get him back to safety and away from possibly the ghosts that could possibly hurt him. We don't know if Qingling has any of the glazed armor with him. He's not hinted at that at this point. We don't know. He's not brought it up, and nobody's really asked him. But Zhao feels obligated to take him along the way. And Wen KeXing really wants to be next to Zhao, so he's along for the ride as well. And that's where we're at. So there is a lot going on in 3 episodes. I originally said that I might watch 2 episodes in a row, and after talking with Anime Annie in the comments, I was like, actually, no. I feel like there is so much going on per episode. I have plenty to talk about. I don't need to go and talk for more than 1 episode at a time, or I will get lost. So that's what we're going to do. Now, my dogs are going to need to lay down and be good and not have me throw their little toy anymore. So go lay down. Ta-da. Anyway, I'm super excited if you couldn't tell. And so I have my coffee poured. I've wasted 10 minutes. We're not going to waste any more time. But I'm going to go ahead and get Whiteboard Coon out of the way for now. And we're going to get this thing started. Now, the moderator Be Happy has said that I will probably not be able to watch the OP or see the ED until like the last episode, which is fine. But I do have the tracks of the OP and the tracks of the ED to listen to. And so I will probably, at the end of the discussion for this video, look at those. So I'll try to remember to include a timestamp of when you can go see that. But I will probably try, if I can remember this episode, to look at that and see the track for the OP and the ED, because I do want to listen to it. So we'll see about that at the end of the discussion this week and go from there. But we're not going to waste any more time. We are going to dive right into, I'm going to start at 1 minute and 46 seconds, skipping the OP. We're going to start with Word of Honor episode 4. And we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1, and let's do it to it. Turn my sound up. Of course it'd be a rooster, like the cock in the morning, eh? I do think blue looks good on Zhao. I'm not used to seeing so many pastel colors. He's got the walnuts! He's got the walnuts in his hand! Want some sugar-coated nuts? Ah! I mean, we've ate together at the same table. You're telling me you don't want my nuts in your mouth? What are you talking about? I am floored. I am gagged. It's him. Oh my God. Here, I took these 2 horses and procured them for you. Aww. And that's all we are. Oh. That fan snap was crazy. Ah! He's like, who are you? Shut up. Wen KeXing's like, you interrupted me? Oh. Are these the beggar gangs? We just look like vagrants. Oh, I love he took the fan back out. Uh-huh. Sorry, but we got places to go. No. Yeah, so you ain't gonna take this kid with you. Oh, Wen KeXing. Oh. Ooh. Oh, his eyes got so crazy! Oh. Oh. Ooh. I like this. This is interesting. Yeah, you think? Oh, no. Oh, Wen KeXing your eyes! Oh, my God! No! Bitch, no! Oh, poor little Changling is shaking. I'm so interested. Oh, what is this? Ain't no Beyonce song. Get out of here. Oh my God, Wen KeXing. Oh, I love it. Oh my God. Oh, hi. I love the formation of this. Oh. He's like, let's go. I feel like Wen KeXing's a little more rough than Zhao would have been with him. Oh, Wen KeXing is gonna be like, oh, you mean I get to watch him do things? Oh, just Oh, bitch, please. Oh, honey. He's only at half strength, y'all. He's only at half martial strength. I mean, he's sitting at the table! He's like, well, I need to sit down for this. Silly boy. Ah! Oh. Oh my god, have a sugared walnut! Ah! He's like, more for me. Oh, do you like having nuts in your mouth when KeXing? Do you? Oh my god, this opening scene alone is everything. Oh. Is he gonna take the walnut and just like fire it into his brain? Oh my god! Bitch, if you touch the walnuts, you're dead. Wen KeXing! Wen KeXing! Not the booze! Oh! Oh! Oh, hi! She shut you. Oh, what? Oh my god. The shamelessness! Oh my god. Ah! Ah! Wen KeXing, my sweetheart. Oh, I love. He's like, I'm not trying to kill him. Oh, shit. Well, and there we go. Oh. This is amazing. Don't be soft-hearted and go easy on them. But he's an assassin. How's this gonna work? Oh my god. Oh my god! Come on! Oh no, shit. Oh, I was waiting for him to use the walnuts, and so then, yeah. Oh. But what about Wen KeXing? Oh, he's out of sight! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh! Oh! Oh shit! Oh! Oh, the wind blowing everything! Oh my god. Of course Zhao's not going to see that side of him. Oh my god. Oh! Oh! Oh, Zhao, sweetheart. You were so badass. Well. Oh. 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 Well, about that. We did not have any problem washing that blood off. Oh. Oh. Philanthropist Wen. Oh, he just killed all of them. Well, what is this? What is this nonsense? Nope. Instant no. Is he one of the Ghost Valley? His face looks familiar. Oh. Wait. Yes, the lustful ghost. I thought I saw him from the first episode. So then what is Wen KeXing? I think he's the chief, but ew. Oh my god. Oh my god. So she's in with them. Oh ho 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 ho. Oh ho 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 ho. Ooh. Oh, master. Oh my god. Yes. Yep, he's the chief. He's the chief. He's the chief. Oh my god. Holy shit. Zhao, you have been scouted by the ghost chief. Gee! I caught you a delicious bass. Oh, he's like, well, excuse me. I'm sorry I didn't marinate it properly. Give it here. Curse your tastes. Oh, that's really sad. Look at the ship. Oh. I love it. Oh, that fancy boat. In the boat. In the really bitchin' boat. In that bitchin' boat. Boats and hoes. Oh my god. And the two women waiting on him. The master, huh? Oh, he came to seduce. He came to seduce. Playing a flute, came on a bitchin' boat, had these ladies they rescued from the lustful ghost, serving tea. Oh, Ghost King came to play. Shut up, don't act like you're not impressed! Oh, sweetheart. She's like, oh my god, he's so stubborn. I'll just fly over here. Bye, ladies, I'll be right back. Oh, let me just skip. It's just a hop, skip away. Bitch. Who? Drinking and singing with you? Oh, your simple little gourd. A famous chef, you say? I bet this kid would want some. Oh, meaning he needs more food. I love you just be like, okay, help me out. Uh-huh. Oh, girl. Mm. He's like, girl, you're not helping. Wen KeXing, you fox. You mischievous fox. Oh! 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 He's like, oh, you're not gonna let me sit by you. Fine. I'll just make this kid move over. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Uh-huh. Oh. Hmm. Oh. Oh. Is it the sword that he has? Yes! Oh. Uh-huh. Well, he's like, by the way, I already killed him for you, so it's fine. Ooh, it's not your sword. True. You're too pure for that. Ooh, even better. Oh. Oh. He's like, oh my goodness. Oh. I love Goo over in the corner. She's like, ee! Oh. Are you going to reveal it all to him? Oh. Oh. Oh, he's insatiable, all right. But not necessarily for the Bayou sword. Ooh. Mmm. Ah. Hmm. Ooh. My Ashu. My Ashu. Oh. Oh. What is this business? Okay. Oh. This did not seem what Ken wanted. What old Wen KeXing wanted? Or did Wen KeXing know it was coming? Is this one of the 10 ghosts? Oh, shit. Oh. 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 Oh, we get an indirect kiss with the flute! With the flute! Oh, it has to be, right? Oh, I love. Oh no. Oh shit. Oh no. Okay, well, Win and Goo aren't affected by it. Oh, okay, there we go. There we go. Oh, so whoever it was trying to lure Chengling to them. Wen KeXing looks pissed that his date was interrupted. Ooh. Ooh, one of the four assassins. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. Oh no. Oh my god. Teach him sometime. When KeXing's like, I'm laying it on as thick as I can, sir. Wait, was that the lustful ghost? Or oh, him patting his back. Oh. Changling, you have been back patted by a ghost king, so cool. I like that when KeXing did that for him. He's sucking up real hard to Zhao right now. He wants to get on his good. Oh, and now he put a little distance. We were gonna put a little distance there. Mm-hmm. Just a babe. Oh. 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 Interesting. Oh. Oh. He's like, what? No. Oh. Oh. Xiao's like, shit. He was the baby. I love he speaks so poetically. Oh, but he's like, I'm not gonna live that long. Oh. 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 Hmm. Oh, shut up. Shut up. Uh-huh. Right. So, yeah. Okay. Oh. He's like, quit reading me like a book. Oh. Oh, they're fine. Oh ho ho. Ho ho. He's like, bitch. Oh my god. What is this business? What is this business? Oh, 4 assassins. Oh, hi, pretty are hot. Hi, scorpion tattoo. Oh, are the assassins all women? Oh, hello, malicious. Oh, pretty and malicious. Blonde monster Zhang. Okay, they're not all women. Oh, I love her design. Hell yes. The scorpion tattoo. Oh, I love it. I love her design. Everything about it is amazing. Ooh. Oh my god. Oh my god, she's a cannibal. There are so many characters in this story. Oh my god. I love this. Oh, she's cool too. Oh, I love her design as well. Also, these eyebrows. So is the fourth? So is the fourth the one that had the musical instrument? And she's got the, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Well. Oh. Oh. Well, there went their fun. And there's the fourth. Yeah. Okay, Phantom Musician. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, I am all in on her and the pretty one. Oh. So who's their master? So who's their master then? It's... Oh. Huh. Huh. So, I'm curious who their master is, for sure. Because we know who the master of the ghosts are. Poor Chingling. Zhao sexually tense as he breaks sticks. Hmm. Hmm. Aw. Aw. Oh. He's like, son of a bitch, I'm tone deaf my ass. Oh, who do not have evil in their hearts. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe he doesn't have evil in his heart when he's thinking of Zhao. Gu's like, she's like, your flirting is so intense, sir. He's like, I'm just gonna pour some tea while I wait. Oh. 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 Quit interrupting my flirting. Ah. He's like, really? Oh my God. Ooh. Well, he's like, they're going to end up dying. Oh. 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 Can't I just like him and want to be friends with him? Oh my God. Oh. How is he the chief? Because he has to be. So he only has so much internal force. Okay. There's a limit. How is he the ghost chief? He has to be the ghost chief because he was doing that with the walnuts. But he's not evil. And he's known Gu since she was like a little bitty kid. He stayed up all night playing a song for you and your ward. Zhao. Zhao, he's perfect. And he would murder an entire gang for you. He was healing your injuries too. Shut up. Stop. Oh! Sir, he stayed up all night. He drove all night. Best you've ever slept in a while. Oh, you're gonna do it, aren't you? Yes, you are! Yes! Yes! Oh. Are you gonna fall asleep on his shoulder? Oh, who asked him to blow it all night indeed? Oh. Oh. He's like, I'm fine. We're fine. We're good. Ah! Oh. Mm. Oh. Right. Where there's a will, there's a way, but also tough men and clingy women. That's what I'm doing, so. You do the will and the way, I'll do the tough man, clingy woman thing. We'll be fine. Oh my god. Where did this little cute cart and carriage come from? Is there room for 3? Oh. You're so cruel. Oh. Oh my god. Please. Please. Oh my god. I love it. I love every second of it. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, he gets to be the one to do that. Oh, that's so funny. Oh my god. When KeXing's like, damn it. I wanted the kid to lead the carriage. Why couldn't we have nice things? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Yes. Why do you do them so casually? Oh my god. Uh-huh. So let's go find a party. Okay. I'll buy the whole place out. Don't worry. Hmm. Aww. Oh. Oh, he's like, you're good. You're my ticket, kid. You got it. Yay! Xiao's like, oh. What is this? What is this? Oh, it's the 2 disciples. And it's low. Oh! Strawberry shortcake! What? What? But what? Oh, okay. So internal force. We've talked about that. Oh, okay. Then what is this business? Oh my God, he's here now too! Well, son of a bitch! Oh my God. What? Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh shit. Oh, what? 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 While all this is going on. What? What? Oh, we made it here. Oh. This is very fancy. Even a little elegant. What is this? What is happening? Oh my God. Well, okay then. Aw. Okay. Okay, Zhao. Oh, they just mentioned him. Ooh. Interesting. Okay. Okay. He said that so weird though. When she's like, okay, sure, no problem. Oh. Oh, well, hell. Oh, well, hell. Oh, oh, this is all coming together right now. Oh, whoa. What was this episode? Oh my God. Oh my God. All Wen KeXing wants to do is flirt in peace with this man. Why won't you let him do these things? It was so hard to react at certain points in this episode because my jaw was on the ground and my brain stopped processing. I was like, things were short circuiting and I'm like, oh, this series has a lot of characters. This series has a lot of characters in it, and it is going to be a task keeping up with all these Sid characters. Like, there's a lot of characters whose names have been mentioned, and I'm like, I don't know you yet. We're going to have to go back to you. It'll be fine. But I was not expecting things to come together quite so quickly there at the end. Also, wasn't expecting this soon in the game to get confirmation that basically Wen KeXing is the chief. He has to be. He has to be the ghost chief. Wen KeXing has to be the ghost chief because he had the nuts in his hands. And then he stuck them in his mouth. I'm like, when they hire the censors for these shows, did they just sit them down and the people like watching just went, and they just looked at each other? They just slowly looked at each other in a room and went, sucking on some nuts, huh? Seems legit. We're not trying to metaphorically hide anything whatsoever. I cannot wait to read the novel. I cannot wait to read the novel. I cannot wait to read the novel. But Wen KeXing, look, I love Zhao. episode 1, Zhao had me. But Zhao's like angsty poet. He's lost a little bit of his divaness, being the beggar. But you get it. He feels down on himself this episode because he's like, oh my God, I really did stick these 7 nails in my body. I am going to die and become a cripple. And it's like, don't say that, Zhao. You don't know. The power of true love could save you. So you got to get to that armory to save you. And Wen KeXing has to do that for you. So I feel bad. I also got these Pocky sticks because I didn't have any walnuts. I feel bad for Zhao. And I love him dearly, but Wen KeXing, y'all. Why is he perfect? Why is he beautiful? Why will he murder for me and also indirect kiss me with a flute and play the flute for me all night long and then just say he wants to like me and be my friend? What? So, yes. Okay, we need to dive into this episode. I'm just floored. This is my favorite episode so far. I say that every week, but it's my favorite episode so far, and I love them so much. So we need to dive into this because this is insane. So episode 4, the Beggar's Brawl, as it would be, correct? So we have the Tianya Inn. They come out of the inn that morning. Zhao looks really great in blue, by the way. And as they go up onto the street here, I just, Wen KeXing with them damn walnuts. Like that's all we needed in the, I think that's where my brain first short-circuited because I was like they just confirmed in that moment, him with the walnuts, that he is the ghost chief. So he has to be, right? Because we've seen the chief with the walnuts, and we saw someone during the fight with the walnuts too. And so now we see that Wen KeXing also has the walnuts that the chief had at Ghost Valley. Supposedly. He is also known as Master to not only Gu, Zhang, but also the lustful ghost. The lustful ghost that we see in this episode as well. So yeah, so Kim Weshing is, Zhao, you don't even realize it, but you have a ghost chief in love with you. Anyway. So yeah, he's sitting there with the walnuts, and he's like, oh, I'm just having these candied walnuts. Aren't they great? I would sit down with Kim Weshing, or Wen. I keep wanting to call him Kin, because he's Knuff. I keep wanting to call him Kin. I would sit down with Wen KeXing and have all the walnuts all day long. And he's like, oh, you got up. Like, just, they're teasing us, damn it. Would you like some amber sugar-coated walnuts? I would have a whole handful, sir. And Zhao's like, one of my favorite points in this entire episode is whenever Wen says something remotely flirty or remotely suggestive, and Zhao just goes, I don't want to be involved in this flirting, but it's like, sir, come on now. I cannot wait to read the novel. And he's like, thank you, Master Wen. And he's like, Aju. He's like, the two of us have been at least born and almost died together. And then Zhao's like, why? It's so good. I love it so much. He's like, when are you going to stop calling me Master Wen and and why aren't you treating me like an outsider? I get this, like, Casper the Friendly Ghost vibe with Wen KeXing. Like, he's just a sad little ghost that wants to make a friend, but he also could murder people. He's so hard to read in a way because he showed in this episode that he has a good soul. He's not a mean, cruel person. He is capable of doing some cruel shit and doesn't give a shit about it because he's a freaking ghost, but he's not a bad person. So it's like, is he wrong, Jean? Damn it. I'm going to call him Kin, honestly, but I'm going to try to say Wen KeXing. Is Wen KeXing, is he actually Ron Jean that was murdered? And was he wrongfully murdered? Did the Five Lakes assassinate him wrongly? Or is he somebody else? We don't know that yet. But he doesn't seem like a bad ghost. He seems like he's, he just wants to befriend Zhao. He's like, you can have these 2 horses. I like that they just appear. The horses do. And Zhao's like, where'd you get those horses? And he's like, don't worry. Don't ask questions. I love that Wen KeXing's like, don't ask questions. Just take the horses and go. Don't ask how I got them. I have my ways. He's like, hurry to Lake Tai as soon as possible to prevent worrying about trouble. So their whole goal was to get to Lake Tai, which they did manage to get there by and by. Not Tai with an H, but Tai with an AI. They did manage to get there, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But Wen wanted them to go ahead and go so that they would obviously avoid the beggar gang, because that was just trouble in itself. And we don't want to draw attention to Changling. We're strangers. I love when he says we're strangers who met by chance. When Wen snaps that fan shut, there are moments where Wen is the softest little Casper ghost. And you're just like, he just wants a friend. He just wants to flirt with Zhao. Why are you being so rude, Zhao? But then there are other moments where Wen snaps that fan shut and looks beyond Changling and looks like he's about to murder someone. Maybe fangirling and eating the Pocky stick is not a good combination. But anyway, so then he snaps that damn fan shut. I feared for that fan. But he sits up, and I guess I wondered if he had noticed the one beggar at first, maybe coming out of nowhere. But then he speaks in a lot of Chinese idioms, which honestly, at first seemed kind of romantic and flirty. But now the more that he does it, it feels very haunting. It does feel kind of like a ghost, like reciting these whimsical poems from the times they were alive. Like, it feels very whimsical, but also very haunting at the same time. And it's like, sometimes new acquaintances feel like old friends, whereas people you've accompanied all your life feel like strangers. Your Uncle Zhao and I felt like old friends at first sight. I love that Zhao looks over at him like, what, bitch? Did we really? The depth of friendship does not depend on the length of time. Which is funny that he says that, because Zhao, for example, him and Zhuzhou, his best friendy, they weren't best friends for a long time, but he values their friendship like one of the most sacred things. So that kind of proves Wen KeXing's point. He's like, your father spent his whole life with the Five Lakes Alliance, and that's when the beggars show up. So it almost seemed like Wen KeXing was about to say, like, you know, your father spent his entire life with the Five Lakes Alliance, but are they really your friends? Whereas, you know, me and Zhao have just met and we're besties, but are they really your friends? And then we get to this. This part was interesting because they talk about Zhang, like the beggars show up. I love that Zhao kind of like gives them a look like, what is this business? Maybe since the swords and the staff, maybe. But yeah, I want to go back because they brushed over all of these. Vice captain of the great wisdom gang of beggar gangs, the crippled beggar. Interesting. Because he's like, oh, we're not. Oh, whenever someone comes up to you and the first thing they say is, don't worry, we're not the bad guys. They're probably the bad guys. Just a rule of thumb, if that ends up happening. They do introduce themselves. And I liked it as they introduce themselves, when KeXing puts out the fan back, like, oh, I have nothing to worry about. Like instantly when KeXing is back in his element, like, okay, no, we're good. Also, anytime that Zhao is not looking at Wen KeXing looks like he's about to murder someone. Like, his demeanor instantly changes. It gives me vibes from a show I've already seen. You know what I'm talking about. But they said we were ordered by law enforcement elder Huang He. So he's connected to law enforcement there, entrusted by the Five Lakes Alliance. And Wen KeXing's just like, oh, this is about to get hairy. And Zhao's like, this is about to get hairy. Like, both Zhao and Wen KeXing realize at the same time that shit's about to go down. And they're like, we need to procure you. And a disciple saw your disappearance and also saw your portrait. Also, the fact, I love this moment here, because Wen KeXing looks and he notices Changling like kind of get close to Zhao and grab his sleeve like, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. And you know that the gears are spinning in Wen KeXing's head, and he's like, okay, this kid's really close to Zhao. What do we do about this? Okay. And then Zhao's like, well, do you know him? And he's like, no, I don't know who these people are. Also, when the fact that there's a giant mob of them doesn't help matters. Wen KeXing never looks like he's in a procurement. He just always looks like he's evaluating and being like, am I going to have to murder all these people? I'm going to have to murder all these people, aren't I? And so then he's like, he doesn't know you. And Wen KeXing asks for verification. And they're like, if he's the person you're looking for, then are you going to take him away by force? I love his eyes get like really wide, like, oh, you want to try, bitch? Like, oh. And he's like, no, we're not going to do that. And he says it was Shin Shin. So I'm going to back this up just a hot second because we got Whiteboard Kun here. He said it was Shin Shin of Mount Dagu. Now, Mount Dagu, was that where they were going? I put Wudang, but I was probably wrong on that. Was Mount Dagu where they were going originally? Wasn't that near Shin Shin? We'll put a question mark there. So Shin Shin is, we're going to put Shin Shin is with Dagu. The Dagu Mount sect. But they are part of the Five Lakes Alliance. All these mountain sects, villa sects, we don't know who's with the Five Lakes and who's not till they tell him, he asked us to come find you. Now, here's the thing. Shin Shin is a dramatic person from what we've seen so far. But he didn't, Changling got kind of worried when Shin Shin was brought up into this. And I didn't think Shin Shin was malicious when we first met him, but maybe it's kind of like, I'm thinking of Modao Zushi. There's a character that's like a brother in that series, and he's not evil or actually a bad guy, but he is very blunt and kind of brutish, and that kind of gives him an aura of being a threat when really in reality he's not. So maybe Shin Shin just has this kind of brutish, he is very emotional and kind of overwhelming. So maybe that presence Changling is kind of intimidated by, and that's why he gets scared of it. But other than that, it's like, why was he so freaked out that Shin Shin was wanting to have him? Interesting. And he's like, I don't know him. Because he says he doesn't know him. And he's like, I'm with Uncle Zhao. Again, that's so weird because it seems like we're getting all these contradictory statements. And Shin Shin was like, oh, best friends with Changling's dad. But Changling is scared of him. So I don't know. And that's going to make next episode interesting because then it's like if he's there on the scene, what's going to happen there? Just everything's getting crazy. And Zhao's like, I don't know him either. Wen KeXing, I could watch him all day in this series. His micro expressions, every little thing he does, I could watch him till the ends of the earth. So then when they suggested that Zhao drugged him, I was like, And Wen KeXing's like, how dare you assume that Zhao would drug a kid? How dare you? So this battle scene was amazing. This battle scene was incredible. All of the choreography, the special effects, everything about this battle scene, I was in awe. It was so damn good. And everybody's acting throughout all of it was amazing. And so I love that Zhao's like, Wen KeXing, will you watch him? And he's like, sure, I'll keep an eye on him. Literally, he just sat there with his walnuts being like, you gonna eat this? As things were going on, because Wen knew that there was nothing wrong in the moment. Nothing bad was gonna happen, because if he wanted to, he could really hurt him. But I love in this moment where he's like, will you take him there? And when Zhao looks away and Wen KeXing looks back at him, like he's a little bit concerned for a moment. Oh. I'm like, Zhao, you fool. This man is in love with you. This ghost is in love with you. You don't even have to, it's not even like Casper. You don't even have to wait till 10 o'clock in the movie where he becomes like Sawyer Dawson and comes down the stairs. You don't even have to wait on that. No, he's right there in front of you. Oh my God. Zhao. I'm like, this book is going to murder me. It's going to destroy my soul because Zhao does not realize that Wen KeXing absolutely loves him. How could he? Okay. But anyway, this fight scene, really, really good. I loved all the choreography. The fact that Zhao is only functioning at 50% of his martial capacity is astounding. Like, that says so much that he is not even at full power. I really want there to be a way for his character to get all of his powers back and undo the power of the nails. I want there to be a way because I don't want him to die. I don't want that to happen. But if he dies and become a ghost, I want him to be with Wen KeXing. But I don't really want him to become a ghost. So it's like, because you don't know if that's going to work or not. So, And so I also like that Wen KeXing kind of plants the seeds of Changling taking on Zhao as a master and disciple relationship, because he says right here, he's like, oh, he learned all these techniques since he was a kid. It must take a lot of training. If you wanted to be half as good as him, you probably need to ask him for some lessons. And so then Chengling tells him to hurry up, and he's like, oh, silly boy. He's like, silly boy. He's like, how could these filthy beggars be on his level, as he's a beggar himself, allegedly. Love it. I love that Wen KeXing's like, here, eat a walnut, put this in your mouth, enjoy the show along with me, please. But Chengling won't do it. And he's like, no. He's like, I'm not gonna have your walnut. And he's like, fine. God, I love it. It's so good. But yeah, this battle scene was amazing. The choreography, everything was about it. I love when KeXing's like, oh, I'm over here. Everything's fine. I'm watching the kid. We're great. And Zhao's like, I hate you right now. So good. Of course, in the midst of all this, they get their weapons out, and Wen KeXing is like, you shouldn't be soft on them. They have swords. Get out your weapon. Now, we find out there is an ulterior motive to this, because the Baya sword is connected to the 4 villas, the 4 seasons, and he knows it, and he brings it up. And he knows, well, he'll go into more detail later in the episode, but he knows that whoever has this sword is connected to the 4 seasons. And he is trying to confirm, Wen KeXing is trying to confirm if Zhao is actually Zhao. He's trying to confirm who he is. And because Zhao won't pull out the sword, he's like, well, then I know that the only reason is either you stole it from someone. He's like, and I don't think that that's your character, or you don't want people to sense the sword and figure out where you are. And he's like, which is it? He's like, I don't think it's the former, but Zhao isn't going to be willing to tell him what it is. Oh my God. But yeah, as they all come after him, that's about the time, as he scurries him away, that he starts to like get the blood splattered up. And then he grabs, at that point, when the blood starts to come up, that's when KeXing's like, oh, you're in trouble. So he grabs the walnuts that are not broken yet with the fan. And I was waiting for him to shoot the walnuts at someone. I was waiting for him to headshot somebody with the walnuts, because I was like, once he had him, I was like, oh, you're the Ghost King, whatever. But he ends up shooting them at the guys, knocking them back. Sure. And at that point, that's when Zhao and Chengling make their escape, when he gets a little bit of moment of clarity. So yeah, oh my God, Wen KeXing at the table, whenever the beggars are all around him, and his demeanor instantly changes. I am a sucker for a character like Wen KeXing. I am a sucker. You just reel me in. You just reel me in, show, because that type of character and that mood change, ugh. And then I just love when he stands up, grabs him by the neck, and just has the wind blowing all around him, and the wind's just blowing through his hair. And it's just like, it's like Galadriel in Lord of the Rings, where it's just all like, I could be a queen, a dark and powerful queen. And I was like, oh my God, I loved it. The hair flipping and how terrifying he looked in that moment. Oh. And then just that glare where he's like, leave or die. Scram or die. And they didn't scram. So guess what happened? But this moment here where Zhao, they get into the hall, into the little alleyway, and Zhao says, I'm really going to die a beggar. Like, he feels like his abilities and his energy is slipping from him. And he's like, I'm going to have to keep this up. And I really am going to eventually die and become, senseless. It's really sad in that moment. But damn, we cut from that and Chengling worrying about him to Wen KeXing stabbing a guy in the neck. Like, the only blood on him, on his hand, and him being like, oh, not even bothered, as all these dead bodies lie around him. Not even bothered. And then he flips the robe, and the way that he gets the blood in the water, like, he's just like, whatever. And I love that Goo shows up, and she's like, you're not supposed to do this in broad daylight. I love she's playing with her hair. It's broad daylight, master. And he's like, I gave them a choice. They were insistent on becoming ghosts and not remaining humans. I'm your master. Your master, I'm so hospitable. Wouldn't it be impolite if I don't do what they want? Oh my God. Like the fact that he was like, look, they wanted to die, so I just granted them their wish. Oh! Oh! And she's like, oh, well, she's like, huh. She's like, it's not the fact. She's like, oh, well, you're so, she said, you're so philanthropic, but it's not the fact that you killed them. That's fine. But why did you make this place so disgusting? And he's like, well, only this way it can look ostentatious, understand? Oh my God. And he just shrugs. These ghosts, I love them both so much. They're just so like, oh, come on, like what else were we supposed to do? They're just going about their day like it was nothing. And he's like, okay, we're fine. I love that they have like the elegant boat, the ship, everything. They dress really nice, but at the end of it all, they're kind of just mischievous, which is like a ghost. And it's so fun. So Yu Zhao is the boat. All right. So, on the boat. Oh my God, no wonder. So this was like confirming everything. So the boat is docked and the lustful ghost has snuck aboard their boat with these two women that he's like kidnapped. It makes sense that he's the lustful ghost and his whole thing is if you cry, that's like his permission to try to seduce you and kill you, which, yeah, the 10 devils of the Ghost Valley, the lustful ghost. So far, we haven't seen anything about ghosts with Wen KeXing and Guzhong, but Guzhong shows up. Of course, they call her. So Guzhong shows up. She's like, what does she say there? Because he's about to hurt them, and then Guzhong shows up to stop him, and he's like, you seduced me first. So what is he? He doesn't call her, Guzhong or any like official title. She says, you damn lustful ghost, you have a death wish. And he says, you're a rotten girl. You're ruining my happiness again. Auntie Lo told you couldn't continue kidnapping women to sleep with. So how dare you do it again? Who's Auntie Lo? So we have Lo. Auntie Lo. We don't know who that is, but they are connected to Guzhong and the ghosts. I wonder if that's the white-haired ghost that was in episode 1. I wonder if that's who that was. We don't know who Auntie Lo is, but these ghosts, they're all like a little family. It's so bizarre. And she's like, how dare, and he's like, did I kidnap anyone? I used real money to buy these women from the whorehouse. And Guzhong's like, oh my gosh, I'll show you the contract. He says, I don't care whether you kidnapped them or bought them. If I tell Auntie Lo that you bullied women again, do you think that she'd look at your contract or dig out your eyes? I love these ghosts. They're just like a little family. It's so crazy. And he says, Ahzhong. So is Ahzhong and the lustful ghost related? Did they grow up together? I have all the questions and it's too soon to have answers. And that's the problem. It's too soon to get answers and it's going to drive me crazy, but it's going to be so worth it when we find out everything. So he's like, I'll let the two girls stay with you. Just pretend that nothing happened. You brought them to serve yourself. And she's like, okay, I'll do that. And he's like, just cover it up for me. And then she says, I'm not against the idea of helping you, but whenever you owe me a favor, you have to do 3 things for me. And he's like, well, that's a lot. And then she says, why do I need to pick the time to bully you? So for Guzhong to have this power over the lustful ghost, one of the 10 devils, means that she's pretty powerful. But I'm so curious. Again, I know it's going to be a long time before we find out about these ghosts, or maybe not, who knows, but I'm so curious. And then she says, the master ordered you to summon all the people outside and to be on standby for duty at Lake Tai's Sunby Mountain Villa. Okay, so apparently the ghosts, or at least the lustful ghost, I'm going to get this right on here. At least the lustful ghost and possibly others are on standby at Lake Tai, at the Sanbai Mountain Villa. Isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient that the masters told them to be on standby? Hurry up and go. And he's like, I have an incredible anti-gravity skill, which is pretty impressive. It's really only for running errands. Is that all it's good for? And she makes him go away. Interesting. Perfect timing to ask the master if we can stay. So they knew that the people that came in episode 2 and 3, they knew, Guzhong and Wen KeXing knew that those were not the hanging ghost. They were just imitators, or they were connected but not the actual hanging ghost, because I'm assuming that Wen KeXing took care of the hanging ghost and has that piece of the glazed armor. But I don't know. Is Wen KeXing going to try to get the glazed armor so that he can save Zhao? I believe so, and we know that one of the pieces of the glazed armor, allegedly, is literally at Lake Tai now with them. So, because now they've all shown up there at Lake Tai. So, things are unraveling and coming together, and it's crazy. But yeah, we have the whole scene with the fish and the fact that neither of them know how to cook a fish. I love that Gu gets onto them because she told him, you guys did not gut the fish properly, and if the gallbladder breaks, the fish is going to taste terrible. And she's like, what, you guys raised in a palace? Which, in that moment, is kind of relevant because Zhao is supposed to be pretending to be a beggar. And the fact that he doesn't know how to cook a fish, Guzhong's like, what, you weren't raised in the streets, clearly. Which is giving a little hint away at his character, just so we know. And then I like that Zhao's like, so where's your master? And she's like, oh, on the fancy boat. And he's like, what? I love that she's like, oh, he's over there, you know, bringing up the rear, just in the fanciest boat, all the bells and whistles, all the lamps, playing a flute, having the tea served. Come on now. And Zhao's just like, okay. I freaking love it. It's so good. Also, do not think I did not notice that indirect kiss with the flute. I noticed it full and well. I love that Zhao is just like, why is he so interested in me? I've got 3 years left to live. There's no point in loving me. I'm not worth loving. And it's like, we know how this song and dance is gonna go. Or maybe not. I have been pleasantly surprised by this. I feel like Guzhong is kind of like, sir, you're my master, and I wouldn't say anything, but why him? He's this beggar, and Wen KeXing is going to be like, just wait till he becomes a beautiful swan, Guzhong. Just wait until he takes off that prosthetic makeup, and you'll see what's underneath. Just you wait. Like, I love that Wen KeXing is just, he's crushing so hard in love, and Guzhong's like, I just don't get it, master. I also like how he was going to sit right next to Zhao, and Zhao just blocked him instantly. And then he sits beside Chengling instead, as Gu Zhao says she's going to be with the other two ladies. I love it. The thing about Wen KeXing is he pushes against Zhao's boundaries, but he never oversteps them. Like, if Zhao tells him not to do something, he doesn't do it. If he tells him to back off, he backs off. He prods. He tells Chengling, he's like, you gotta play the clingy woman to get to the tough man. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I don't know who's topping and bottoming in this relationship now that I think about it. I don't know. I thought I did, but I don't know. Maybe they're versatile. Maybe they can do both. Ghosts are versatile. Aren't they? Aren't they, though? But yeah, I like that he keeps to his boundaries with Zhao, and he never, like, tries to go too far. But he talks about, the poem says, the clouds in the sky are like white clothes. But in just a moment's time, they'll resemble a gray dog. And it's been since the same ancient times. Nothing in life is impossible. So it's a poem from the Tang Dynasty that explains how things can change so quickly in a moment and nothing is impossible. Well, if that is not a representation of this story, I don't know what is. Because it could be that Zhao thinks he's going to die and there's no chance for him to live and he's going to become a cripple and all this. And when KeXing's like, hey, never say never. We don't know what's going to happen. So he talks about... Rumor has it that Rong KeXing, the former magic craftsman, created 3 masterpieces in his life, which is the Great Wild Land, the Dragon Back, and the White Clothes. I'm assuming he's talking about the 3 poems, right? Because it's a different wrong than what was up there. Again, it feels very haunting how he keeps recalling these ancient poems. He's like, back then, Chen Haizhong, the last leader. Oh! The last leader of the Four Seasons Mountain Villa galloped around with the Bai Yi sword all across the martial worlds. And Bai Yi, oh, okay. Wait, we need to go back to that. So, okay. 3 masterpieces. Oh my God. Okay. No. Hear me out. So Bai Yi is one of the swords, and it means the white clothes. It means the white clothes that is tied to anything is possible. Anything is possible, and everything can change quickly. So when he says the 3 masterpieces, there are 3 swords. Wow. You know who would know a lot about swords? A guy that owns a freaking armory. So the Dragon Back is a sword. Oh my God. There are 4 assassins, 10 ghosts, 5 mountain lakes, 4 seasons, 3 masterpiece swords. Series, you've got so much stuff in you. So the Dragon Back, and what was the other one? He said the Dragon Back. Okay. The Great Wild Land. And the Great Wild Land. The Great Wild Land is a weird name for a sword, but it might be like a translation issue. Maybe it's a huge sword, like a broadsword. Okay, these are all, and so they said that wrong, a magic craftsman. So these swords were created by wrong, KeXing, which was a magic craftsman. Okay, well, you know what? Wrong is a surname. So is Rong Zhan related to Rong KeXing? I'm going to put Rong Zhan. Are they related? We don't know. But maybe, what if they were? What if they were related? What if Rong KeXing, what if Rong Zhan, what if this was his dad? And these are the 3 swords. What if Rong Zhan was the son of Rong KeXing, who created these swords, had the armory for his dad's creations along with the others they collected, and he knew all about them and knew all about the swords and what they could do and how they're magical, and then they all got split apart? I mean, during the battle, it's possible that the white clothes sword was taken away. I'm just saying. Rumor has it. But these are all rumors, you know, as you know. The Dragon Back and the White Clothes. And he says that thinking the Zhao's going to have a reaction. He says that Chen Haizhong, the last leader of the Four Seasons Mountain Villa, galloped around with a Bai Yi sword all across the martial world. After the annihilation of the Four Seasons, the sword disappeared. And so he's like, let me tell you that I saw that sword was very similar to the Bai Yi sword. He's like, I originally figured those stinky beggars would have a terrible martial arts skill that would make them unable to withstand a single blow, but you never pulled it out. I like that Changling's not really listening because he doesn't really know what's going on, but Guzhong is like avidly like wanting to see if there's something to this. So it would make sense now why Wen KeXing would want to see the sword, not only to confirm if Zhao is someone that he says he's not and what he's hiding, but also to confirm that this sword that he might have history with is that actual sword. Oh my God. I feel like all these things are going to end up being connected, but he's like, but you'd rather lose blood than draw the sword. And he's like, could it be that you couldn't bear to kill the smelly beggars? Because I did, he says, but not really. He's like, but then I thought about it. There's only 2 reasons. And one is if you stole the sword, which he's like, I don't think that it's that. Or you don't want people to know where you are. There's only the second explanation. And then he looks at him and he says, why are you afraid to reveal your whereabouts? And Zhao's like, it is none of your business. I love that Zhao comes back to him saying, look, you've been asking 20 questions to me of who I am, but you've not told me anything about yourself. And we said our relationship is like that fish where it's raw. I was like, oh, well, raw in a different context could mean something else. But here he's saying that they mean unacquainted. He's like, we don't know each other. You don't know me. So why are you asking me these very personal questions? And I love when they get closer to each other. It's like from our first meeting until now, I don't even know. He's like, I don't know who I am, where I'm from, or where I'm going. But who you are, where you're from, or where you're going. He's like, we know nothing about each other. He's like, and I don't care to know anything about each other. He's like, you've helped me. That's been really great. I respect you for that. But when he says if you're insatiable, I was like, oh, he is highly insatiable. He's like, and you want to see the Bai sword? Don't bother wasting your words. He's like, you're never going to see it. And I'm like, well, I think he is. But we'll see about that. And when KeXing's like, oh, that's cute. He says, Aju. He's like, why are you so irritable today? Are you hurting? He's like, I shouldn't have tested you and caused you to get those internal wounds. And so then Zhao's like, whatever. He's like, forgive me this time. It won't happen again. I should have asked you directly. He's like, you wouldn't lie to me, right? And around that time, that's when the assassin shows up. I love that Wen KeXing is like, I was making progress, and then you showed up, excuse me? So this assassin, why do they want Chang? Why do they want Changling? What's the point of this? Luckily, I like that Wen KeXing protects both Changling from walking away and Guzhong. Also make note that Guzhong was holding him back too, so those two were fine. And the thing about it is, Zhao has his back turned the entire time. I would think that if Zhao saw that both Gu and Wen KeXing had no trouble keeping Changling back, he might have gotten a little suspicious and been like, you guys are awfully strong. What's your deal? But because his back was turned to them, he didn't know to ask, right? So he plays the flute to get the assassin to go away. Indirect kisses abound. Wen KeXing looks pissed. Like, what is this? I did not... At first, during the reaction, I thought it was the ghosts. I thought it was maybe the lustful ghost trying to make a scene or do something, but this was not the case. I don't think Wen KeXing planned on them showing up making a scene. And of course, then Zhao gets hurt and Wen KeXing looks terrified, like, are you okay, man? I'm so intrigued because Wen KeXing looks like he feels for Zhao and he wants to know like why he's hurting and what the deal is, and he wants to help him, but he doesn't know exactly what to do and he doesn't have enough information yet. So Phantom Musician Chin Song, one of the four assassins. So he instantly knew who it was. I thought that the song was like a literal song, like that was the technique name. No. So we have now four assassins. As if we didn't need any more characters in this show, we have Chin Song, who is a musician, the Phantom Musician. The fact that Wen KeXing knows who all these people are, like Mr. Popular knows everybody. What does he say? It's like, I was surprised that someone was able to convince this evildoer to come forth. They must be capable. So, and then Zhao's like, well, who cares? His power backfired and it's going to make him suffer for some time. And then of course, Wen KeXing is like, oh, you're speaking my language. You and I, we're so compatible. Did you know that? I love it. He's like, I'm sorry for getting your flute dirty. I'll find you a new one. He's like, oh no, I'm going to treasure this one forever. And he's like, you're so good at martial arts, but you're tone deaf. I'll teach you sometime. Please. Can you please have Wen KeXing teach him how to play the flute in a private session where Changling and Guzhong go away? Can you have that happen like, 10 episodes from now? That'd be great. But, okay. So we don't know who sent the assassins. We don't know. We're going to have to go back to that scene to know what's going on. Wen KeXing is very patient, though, because Zhao is turning him down left and right, and he is super patient. Meanwhile, while the one guy runs away, we had the discussion about taking on a disciple. Now, it's obvious why Zhao does not want a disciple, and that's because he thinks he's only going to live 3 years. So he's like, I don't want to take you on and train you, and then 3 years from now, I die, and you've not learned enough to be a successful cultivator, right? And we talked in Scumville and Self-Saving System in that series about the age of cultivation and how it is fairly important to start as young as possible because you can only reach a certain threshold with each passing year. So, but Wen KeXing says some interesting things in this part where he talks about how he was as a kid, which is interesting because I don't know if he's lying or if he's just trying to like encourage Changling. Because Wen KeXing says, now there, he says, aren't children too fond of playing? When I was a child, my parents taught me to work hard, but I also spent many days using tricks to get out of it. Now, what does that mean? Is he being truthful? Is he lying? What's Wen KeXing's backstory? We don't know. He's like, how come I've never been too fond of playing? I like that Zhao is like, well, I'm not like you. And Wen KeXing's like, anyway, silly boy. Have you heard the saying that only the picky customers will actually buy goods? And then he tries to explain what Zhao's trying to tell him, which is really super cute. And so then Changling wants him to take him on as a disciple. And then so Zhao's like, I'll just teach you a few little things. I'll teach you some basics. I'm not taking you on, but I'll teach you this little stuff, just whatever. I love it. And I like that Changling's like, look, I was the youngest sibling of 3. My brothers were all capable and doing their own thing. I thought I was just going to be like the one kid that didn't have to work and would just inherit whatever my family gave me. He's like, I didn't see the need to cultivate, which is interesting. And then, yeah, when KeXing tries to be this anchor, when the children want to fulfill their filial piety, their parents die. Most things in the world are like this. Now, Zhao tells me you should join the Five Lakes Alliance and learn from them because there's a future secured for him there. And Changling's being very stubborn about it. And then he's like, fine, I'll teach you some basics. And that's it. So, now, what do they say here? They say you could learn. He talks about he's like, few people can reach that state. And he's like, you know, he says, if you start working hard from now on, reaching my level won't be hard for you. I'm like, what does that mean? Are you a ghost, sir? What are you trying to tell him? Are you making a joke? Interesting. So that's when he tells him to teach the breathing technique that'll help him heal. I do like that Gu is helping the 2 ladies and has sympathy for the 2 women. Now, there's that conversation about the puppy later on that Wen KeXing has. Also, I like the slight straight baiting whenever Zhao is like, hey, you know, there's those 2 lovely ladies and Gu Zhang back there on the boat. You want to go back to that boat, Wen KeXing? And Wen KeXing's like, yeah, no, they're fine. I love that he's like, no, they're good. They're fine. He's like, oh, it's okay. I don't want to see them anymore. She can handle it. And then Zhao's like, well, I can handle myself too. And Wen KeXing's like, oh, I'm going to keep following you. So sorry about that. So then we have this pig over a spigot, it looks like. Although that is the thinnest pig over a spigot I've ever seen. Maybe it's supposed to be something else. But there's this camp and these assassins guild. They're all in white. It's super interesting. I'm so intrigued. But yeah, so then there's the assassins. There is the 4 scorpion assassins. I like the scorpion motif. So we have Pretty. We have Pretty Arhat. Pretty and Malicious. Their designs are amazing. I freaking love them so much. And then, I don't know, Malicious, the tattoo, the colors, the skin, the hair and the eyes. Malicious, Bodhisattva. So we have Malicious. Oh my God, her design is everything. I know I'm going to mispronounce that last name, so. And then Blonde Monster Zhang. His hair's more red than blonde, but we'll take it. So we have Blonde Monster. Blonde Monster Zhang. I mean, Chen Song, he gets like the musician title. He gets the actual title, which is fun. So yeah, I love them all so much. Their designs are so fun. I like the idea of these assassins being introduced. I don't know why they're here. I don't know who they're after. They're looking for information. Then they're like, okay, somebody made the enchanting song backfire. Whoever it was is really skilled. Would a child have such a powerful man to accompany him? So why do they want Changling? So we don't know who has hired them. But they're after Changling. But we don't know who hired them and why they're here. What? Why is everybody after Changling? What does he have? Does he have the glazed armor inside of him? What's going on? Malicious' actress is gorgeous, and her eye acting is incredible. Like, she can just look a certain way and just get the emotion across. Like, she is fantastic. I love her so far. So I love when she flips the hair too. And so then the master, they talk about the master coming and meeting them, but then it's like the master ordered us to hurry back to you. What does it say? To hurry back to Yuyang? To Yuyang? So they're supposed to go back somewhere else. Back to Yuyang. I feel like this is just like a big diagram. Like, who's told people to go to where? So Yuyang seems like a new place. We've not been there before. We don't know where that is supposed to go. That's supposed to go somewhere on there. But okay. Now Yuyang is not where Wen KeXing told the ghost to go to with Lake Tai. So this is somewhere different. Curious. And Ching Song made a mistake. Okay. I'm so curious. The master's orders. I like all of these characters so far. They're so much fun. But then, yeah. So Zhao tries to convince Changling how to meditate, and talks about the center of your palm, your feet, your head, they should face upward, and you have your life force energy into your field of elixir, your public area, your central area where the life force energy is stored. Now, they talk in this about like cultivation energy. They talk about that being like internal force that has to get replenished, because the one guy, Al Lizy, they talked about him running out of internal force during their battle. And then Guzhong talks about how Wen KeXing is low on their internal force because they were helping him playing the flute all night, right? I do feel like that's a little bit of bad foreshadowing, because I think that Wen KeXing might get into a little bit of trouble if he used all that to help Zhao, and then he ends up getting in a pickle at this whole Lake Tai situation. So I feel like Zhao's a nice enough person, they would help Wen KeXing, and that might lead to things happening, right? Leading to things happening. Steamy things maybe in the novel, but probably tame things in the show. But still, I feel like it's going to lead to things happening. But I feel like that's a foreshadowing moment of him using all the energy to try to help heal. Because he wasn't just trying to help heal Changling and help him through that process. He was also trying to help heal Zhao as well, which is great. And then Zhao's like, well, I mean, he is playing that song for us to help us, and that seems very nice of him to do. So, you know. And he says, only those who do not have evil in their hearts can manage it. I think that's important. I didn't think that this man would be able to blow such a flute. Oh, well, he can blow a lot more than a flute. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. And he can teach you how to blow more than a flute as well if you give him the chance. But I think that's really important to note, because he says that you have to be good, that you have to have a good heart. I think that that is extremely important, because as we know from the Donmai that I have read so far, the ghosts tend to have a very bad reputation, and the ghosts tend to be looked down upon by the other realms in the story. And so you already have multiple groups that are blaming the Ghost Valley and the ghosts for all the bad things. And Wen KeXing has already said, yeah, I know that the ghosts get a bad rap, But, you know, they have struggles too. So I feel like this is leading, this moment where he plays the flute is going to come back later, where Zhao is told, like, oh, Qin Weshing is evil. His heart is nothing but evil. And then he's going to hear that damn flute playing, and he's going to be like, but how could he play the flute if he had an evil heart? I'm just saying, it's going to come back. It's going to come back, and it's going to be amazing. And I love that they're setting all of this up right now. I love that they're setting it up. Also, the contrast between the red lanterns and the blue banners. A contrast, you say? How interesting. Also, a red lantern, possibly for the ghosts, and the blue robes that Zhao's wearing. So I want to hear this part here that Gu says as well. Because Gu kind of gets on to Wen KeXing being like, you're really wasting a lot of energy playing for this beggar. And is it really worth it? And he's like, well, you're doing the same with these ladies. Here's the thing, though. When he tells her about the women, he's like, you saved these women. What was the point? Do you like them? Do you not like them? And Guzhong is like, no, I just wanted to save them. I thought, you know, it'd be fine. And he's like, if you're not willing to stay with them and see it through and be with them forever, you need to let them go. The thing about him saying that is he's telling her, he's like, if you don't love these women, you need to let them go so they can go live their life. He loves Zhao, so he's not going to let Zhao go. He's like, I'm ready to be with him forever, which is amazing. I love it so much. Ever since I was a child, whenever I wanted you to play a song, I had to act cute and obedient countless times to get you to do so, which makes it sound like to me that she's been a ghost forever, that she's been a ghost since she was like a little kid, and they've all just like, the ghost took her in as a little ghost kid, and like, she's literally Zhang, and they just like raised her up, you know, to be a ghost with them. That's what it sounds like, which I want them to have the most heartwarming ghost story ever. And now you're just playing all night for a beggar. And he's like, well, he's like, unfortunately, Guzhong, I don't want to be with you in ways that I want to be with that beggar. There are ways and reasons for the things that I'm doing. And he's like, you did not face danger. And I like that he says instead, he's like, you didn't face danger in a critical moment or suffer from internal wounds. Your internal force is shallower than water in this cup. But you want me to play a song. Now, that meaning that that Guzhong is strong, but does not have a lot of energy. Doesn't have a lot of stamina, right? The internal force I consumed was more than you gained. Are you stupid? Okay, so he gained internal force through other means. And he's like, cut the crap and go on. Like, he gets really crass there with her, which I love Wen KeXing and Guzhong's relationship. They are like siblings. I love them. I love that they don't give each other any slack. They're harsh on each other. They're truthful with one another. I love it. And then he says, what are you going to do with the sisters that you saved? I love that he questions her on that. And she's like, oh, well. And then he's like, you haven't thought this out at all. He's like, do you remember the dog you saved when you were a child? I'd been forcing you to throw it away, but you refused. And the dog was later stewed and eaten. Which, if you were ghosts and nobody knew that you had claimed a dog because you were ghosts and the dog ended up getting eaten, that would make a lot of sense. I'm just saying. You cried for 3 full months. My attitude is the same. If you've made a promise to it, but cannot take care of it for the rest of your life, or its life, then you need to give it away ahead of time. And she's like, well, how is it the same? They're living people. And what about you? She says, you said you were following Master Zong around because you thought there was something odd about him. But now you're wearing out your internal force to play the flute for others. Who even knows whether or not that beggar is grateful? I love that. So she said that we were following Changling around to try to figure out why he was acting weird and what's going on with him. But she's like, well, now you've just abandoned Changling and you're playing it for Zhao. And he says, well, since when was there ever been a time or place where you were allowed to judge my actions? And then he says, can't I just like him and want to make friends with him? I was like, oh, he just wants to be his friend and he likes him. Like, he just casually admits it. So he just admits it to Guzhong like it's nothing. Like, they're such siblings. Oh, my God. And she just smiles. And then she's like, she's like, you admitted that you like him and that you want to play for him. I was like, ah! Love it. And then he's like, I love them. I love all of this. This series is amazing so far. And I'm only 4 episodes in. And I can't believe I'm only 4 episodes in. We have so much to go. I'm so excited. And I know I've talked for an hour already, but we're not even through this episode yet. So he's like, once you get into it, what does he say there? He says, once you get into it, you know the consequences. Oh, he's like, I love this man. I know the consequences of my love. Okay. Oh, Wen KeXing, you are enough. You are just so amazing. Oh, Zhao, I wish you knew to make you feel my love is playing. Like, I wish you knew, Zhao, how much this man loves you. It's so beautiful. So yeah, then the next day, Wen KeXing's like, hey, friend, I played that flute all night for you. You know, so you're gonna be a little bit grateful, aren't you? Aren't you happy I played this flute for you? And you're gonna let me sit beside you? All of the touching, where he like tries to grab his palm to check his pulse, all the things to touch. Oh, I love it. The thing about it is, I feel like if Zhao actually would grab for his hand and try to do things, would he be able to tell that Wen KeXing is a ghost? But because he doesn't know. Is that part of it too? He's like, man, I put a lot of energy into playing this flute. I hope you're feeling better. Forgive me for wasting all my energy helping you. And then when Zhao said, who asked you to blow it all night? I was like, there is so much innuendo in this show. What do you want from me? So he says, I deliberately tested you yesterday, which caused you to suffer these wounds. But your internal injury is likely healed very much after the end of last night. So, you know, it's meritorious service to make up for my crime. So don't be mad at me. And he's like, let me feel your pulse. He's like, you're not a nurse. Nope. I love these. Like, I'm not. Nope. I also feel that Zhao doesn't want to feel indebted to people, but also he doesn't want to get close to anyone because he's afraid that if he gets close to them and dies, it's like... But Wen KeXing, he takes it all in stride. He takes it all in stride. I love him so much. So then they take off. And I love he says, don't you know your master is a man who is firm in speech but soft-hearted? And he's like, cling to him. Haven't you heard that tough women... Oh! Oh! Never mind. Haven't you heard that tough women can't resist clingy men? I don't know if that metaphor is accurate, but what I do know is that you've just implied that Zhao is the bottom and you're the top. Okay, great. I had that backwards for a moment, but we've all corrected. And Changling's like, I don't know if that metaphor works that way. And he's like, if there's a will, there's a way. He's like, Zhao's a tough woman and I'm the clingy man that's gonna crack him. But you know, where there's a will, there's a way. You can do that too, Chingling. It's fine. He's like, I understand that metaphor a lot better. I also love the hilarity of the carriage that Zhao and them stumble across. And then when KeXing's like, Guzhong left me all alone and took off with the ladies in the boat. You know, she was mad at me for using all my energy up. And it'd be really nice, mister, if you gave me a carriage ride. And I'm sure what Wen KeXing thought was going to happen was that they were going to make Changling be the person with the reins leading the horse so that Wen KeXing could sit back in the carriage with Zhao. No, that's not what happens. Zhao's like, no, and makes him lead the horse, which is hilarious to me. Hilarious. I love it so much. And he's like, you're not bad at leading that horse. That was so damn funny. I love him with the little hat. And he's like, you're a good driver. And he's like, well, he's like, I am a good driver. I can steer really good, actually. But, you know, you're great in every aspect. The damn sexual innuendos in this show, y'all. I'm not going to survive to episode 37. It's not going to happen. It's just that you really don't know how to properly enjoy life. He's like, you know, you should eat and drink and be merry, you know, have some carnal pleasures, you know, get in the bed with me. I mean, what else do you want? And Zhao is like, no. He's like, eat or don't eat. It's up to you. But Hu Zhao is just ahead. If you're not satisfied, you can leave. And he's like, how could I not be satisfied with you? I just feel bad for you. And he's like, I feel bad because our Changling, you know, he hasn't eaten in days. He's probably really hungry. He's like, we'll find a restaurant when we approach, get a good meal. And then there we are. He's like, we'll be fine when we get to Zhao Jing's manor. Okay, so Zhao Jing is the one we see at the very end. I love it. I love the banter between all of these. And he's like, I found the fate we have together has a long way to go. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I hope that's true. I want them to stay together for quite some time. Meanwhile, we go back to Ao Lizzie, who is from the Mount Tai sect with the two descendants who supposedly have a piece of the glazed armor. And he gets beaten back by Tao Hong and Lu Liu, and they're after the glazed armor that they have, which is insane to me. They're like, we want the glazed armor, and then they're like, we need to go find Zhao, which is the guy where all paths converge. But they all decide to stay together, and then who shows up but one they didn't expect, which was Shin Shin. Like, because they seem surprised that Shin Shin's there. I am surprised that Shin Shin is there. Shin Shin seems surprised that he is there. Ao Lizzie has told the lie, or we thought it was a lie. Ao Lizzie said in the last episode that Shin Shin was following them to try to take the boys away and steal the glazed armor. But that's not what the strawberry shortcake couple seem to have thought Shin Shin was doing. And I think Shin Shin's there for an alternative reason altogether. And it just happened that all three of their paths converged. And the two of them were like, well, let's take advantage of this moment and go from here. And then he's like, it seems as though enemies always end up meeting. So now these two kids, they're fine with Uncle Shin. They're okay with him. Changling seemed to be worried about Shin Shin. These two kids, they walked up like he was the best thing. So I don't know what to make of his character. Because Shin Shin's like, okay, what do we do? And they're like, Ao Lizzie is also a master. Why were you so afraid all this way? It turned out it was the leader of Mountain Dagu who was chasing Mount Tai. And so Shin Shin's like, okay. And they're like, if the story spreads, then we would see how the Five Lakes Alliance continues showing its face. And he's like, well, you'd have to survive to spread the story. So he goes to attack them. They go to fight. And while they're fighting, they all leave to go to see Zhao. So then we make it to Sanbai, where the ghosts are on standby, by the way. And we get to the mountain villa there. I wish we'd stopped and ate in town and let Wen KeXing take Zhao out on a proper date. But what can we do? So yeah. So then they show up at the mountain villa. And it's huge. There's all these different houses. It looks super fancy. I like that Wen KeXing's like, it's fine. This place is massive. It's so elegant. And he's like, it's not bad. I've seen better. He's like, I heard that the warrior Sanbai is the richest in the world. It's very magnificent. He's like, even a little elegant. Okay. He's like, not bad. So then, against all these screens and everything, here comes Zhao. He comes in there with all these people. And they're like, these are the two righteous men who found Changling. So Lake Tai sect of the Five Lakes Alliance, Zhao Jing. Okay, so Zhao Jing is at the center of all this now. Zhao Jing, he is the leader of the Lake Tai sect. And he seems okay, but Changling has a weird reaction to him. So all these guys come up wearing different robes from different places to see him. And I like that Zhao's kind of like, there's all these different guys. I like when KeXing like slow turns like a damn ghost in the background just to be like, oh, look. And then Changling is just there looking kind of confused. And then when he walks up to them, I mean, obviously he probably hasn't seen Changling in a long time because he says, you've grown up. And he grabs his shoulders and he says, Changling, I'm your father's best brother. Now, these five best brothers don't really seem to be best brothers. They've all told each other they're best brothers, but I don't know if that's true. He says, I'm Zhao Jing. And he's like, just call me Uncle Zhao. And Changling is like, are you Uncle Zhao? Which is such a weird question to ask. Like, what do you mean, are you? Does Changling, can he sense that it's not him? Is he different than the Zhao that he remembers? Is this an imposter? I'm so curious. I'm so curious. And so when KeXing's like, okay, we dropped the kid off. Everything seems to be fine. What's our next recourse? Also, I love that he basically thanks Zhao and Wen KeXing. And Wen KeXing is like, oh, well, think nothing of it. Because he thanks him when KeXing's like, oh, no problem. He's like, I heard about the great warrior of Sonbai's elegant demeanor for a long time. But as expected, hearing of it hundreds of times cannot compare to seeing it once. And Zhao's just like, oh my God, really? We're going to be kissing ass, are we? And that's when these kids come in and say, disciple of Mount Tai sect, Qinghua. The leader of the Mount Tai sect is being chased. I'm begging you to go help them as soon as possible. And when KeXing and Zhao are like, our work is never done. And that's the episode. Oh my God. What a wild episode. So, okay, before we end, I'm going to look at the OP and the ED, the lyrics. We're going to check them out as if this reaction wasn't long enough, you know. But there was so much in this episode. There was so much. My mind is blown. I'm sure I rambled endlessly and was not coherent, but hopefully you got something out of that. But I'm so excited for the next episode already. It's going to be a hard, long, walnut-laden wait for it. But while we're waiting, let's look at the OP and the ED. And my dogs are probably going to keep barking, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is the OP is called Ask Heaven. And the ED is called Faraway Wanderers, which now seems to make sense with these two. But all right, I want to listen to the OP and go from there. And we're going to real quick get the lyrics pulled up so y'all can follow along with me as I go through this. So we're going to look at the OP first. Thank you, Be Happy, for sharing these. I'm so excited. And we're going to look at that in 3, 2, 1, and let's begin. I'm assuming the lyrics are going to be on the screen. I'm assuming. It says English. Ooh. Oh, this tranquil melody. I'm so excited. Oh. Oh. Old grudges and new feuds. A trick. Who's taller? Ooh. Oh. A journey. Okay. A soulmate. Oh! Rain, sunshine. This is very romantic. I wasn't expecting soulmates to get mentioned. Oh, really? Okay. Oh. Oh, talking about age in the sky? Ooh. Oh. Oh, I love this kind of ethereal, eternal theme to it of how fleeting time is. Which relates to Zhao dying, and you also have Zhao, who thinks his time is limited, and then you have Wen KeXing, who's possibly a ghost whose time is unlimited. Oh! Oh! I love it. Who has freedom? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I love this beat. Oh, it's so good. This OP sounds so great. Oh. Okay. All right. I really like this OP, actually. I'm glad I didn't have to wait till the very end to hear it. I know. Yeah, it definitely feels like talking about mortality, but yet, like, things that are eternal, which for Wen KeXing and Zhao seems like it goes hand in hand. Ooh! Ooh! Okay. All right. All right. I'm almost done with the OP and Edie, Huckleberry. You're going to have to wait a little bit. Interesting. I can't believe they talked about soulmates in this OP. Honestly, I'm amazed. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. So that was the OP. Ooh. Love that. Now, we need to look at the ED, which is, I'm sure, a little bit longer and more of a ballad. Thanks, Peachy Butt, for transcribing and translating these lyrics. I just love the name. I'm so excited to see more with Wen KeXing and with Zhao in it. Yes, please. Now, are these the actors singing this song? Ooh. Ooh. They talked about the cup in this episode of The Internal Force. Ooh. Well, I mean, Zhao has been drinking throughout this entire series so far, but... Ooh. Kisses your window, eh? Oh, yes. Oh. The frost in your heart warming up, sir. Oh, our line. Oh, it's a duet, bitch. It's a duet. Oh, my God. Oh, I'm glad you're not too late either. Oh, we can't live up to the 4 seasons. Oh. Are we going on a 10,000-mile river and mountain journey? Ooh. Yes, make wine and tea together, please. Can we have that? The fact that they're faraway wanderers, I cannot wait to see what this is like. Ooh, reflecting the setting sun, eh? What about the land of immortals? Ooh. Okay. Let me help carry the burden with you. Yes! Yes. No, don't say goodbye to each other. We can't. Oh. I'm just waiting for Wen KeXing to just break down Zhao's walls and just let him, like, appreciate him being there. Oh. Uh-huh. Waves of sand. Oh! Bitch, if Wen KeXing asked me to make wine or tea with him, you don't turn down that invitation. You just don't. I love these two so much already. I cannot wait to follow their journey. I know that the TV show is not going to give us everything that we want, but I cannot wait for the novel and just to. Okay. Ooh. Okay. The Frost and the Sword. Ah! Oh. Sing when you hear soulmates. Shut up. Oh. 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 That was adorable. That was amazing. That was wonderful. Y'all, I've talked for nearly an hour and a half about this series, and this episode was amazing. There are so many questions. There is so much happening. We were introduced to assassins. Wen KeXing's a ghost, probably. There's been so much happening, and I cannot wait for episode 5. But I will wait and see what the comments for episode 2 is, I suppose. And in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. Take care. Oh my God, I'm going to go fangirl all over again. And I'll see y'all next week with episode 5 of Word of Honor. Bye.